everybody, welcome back to the Bessemer and Lake Erie and HO scale. This is a general layout update from March 17th, 2023. It's been way too long. But let's get rolling and see what I've been up to. I will tell you that what I've been up to has been a little haphazard. I've been working on just kind of what I feel like working on lately. But first of all, I'd like to give a big shout out to Drew at White River Line. He gave away a hopper on his YouTube channel that he painted, decaled, and weathered, and this is it. I was lucky enough to be the winner. The detail in the weathering is amazing. And you can actually see the video where he does this on his channel at White River Line. So if you don't know Drew and his channel, go check him out. It's totally worth it. So one thing I've been working on is I got the first 5 tracks of the yard all laid, and switch motors are in, frogs are powered, rails are powered, and spent some time making sure everything works smooth. So let's go ahead and push this train through the ladder here at XB. The Union 010-2 I'm running right now. Very cool model. Prototype of this sits in a park in Greenville, Pennsylvania. Kind of a odd wheel arrangement for the Union Railroad. They later went on to work the Duluth-Mesabian Iron Range. It's a brass model, and this was all redone for me by Mark Guffey at All Brass Backshop. And as you can see, everything's running nice and smooth in the yard here. So next thing I've been working on been making myself some coal loads. And here they come. So I don't know, I'm up to about 10 or so. And as you can see, you know, they're all just a little bit different. And then I'm doing that on purpose. You know, I want them to look like they were hand loaded. Very irregular. So, just a quick little bit of how I'm doing that. I'll probably do a whole video on it eventually, just because I think it's kind of neat. Fairly traditional technique, but I'm taking basswood and I'm marking it as to what car it goes in with my YouTube channel in there, just so I know they're mine if I ever take them somewhere. But I cut these just to drop in and fit real nice in the cars. So what I do then, oops, is I take a few of these at once and glue them to just scrap pieces of scenery foam. So they end up looking more like this. And then I'll put them in the car, and I'm just cutting that out with a hot wire. And I'll mark around where the top of the car is, carve it with a hot wire a little bit just to get it roughly close. And then shape it how I want to with a Sureform tool, which kind of looks like a cheese grater. Don't see my Sureform tool. Oh, there it is. So I'm just kind of, you know, shape it with that till it looks nice. I paint it black, bury a nail in it, and then let's just sprinkle on some Woodland Scenics Mine Run coal, which I set the tag out here, and there it is. I'm using Mine Run coal, which I think this is real coal. It stains your hands like real coal. And then, because if you bury a screw in it, you can take one of these little magnetic wands And let's go ahead and remove the load. So kind of slick. I'm really liking the way it's turning out. I think they look really good. I'm happy with them anyway. So it might sound like a lot of steps, but you can make these surprisingly fast. Very little time in those. So hopefully maybe I get 25 or 30 car train of them done. I'll start running some coal trains. Let's see. So that's that, and then I guess the other big reveal, besides having the yard partially working, is I have upper deck bench work done through Grove City. Well, into Grove City anyway, so let's start walking through that. So just a reminder, I think in my last update, I'm around the corner into Butler on this side. So this will be the beginning of Calvin Yard, going north to the right. Do the town of Butler, kind of coming around the end of the peninsula here. And then Butler, and then kind of the way I got the boxes sitting there, I'm thinking about Pullman Standard, which is up in the picture. AK Steel in the background, and then you'll go down the Helix and into the Allegheny Industrial District, which is where we're rolling through right now. Okay, so on the upper deck this way, though, it's got a lot done. Not any track laid, but got a lot of bench work built. I've just been in the mood to build bench work, so I've just been building while I'm in the mood to do it. So on that board there with the green tape is a double crossover. I'm going to put that in. That's going to be cremis. And in the front scene here, I will do Fredonia, which will pretty much just be a depot, maybe a house, one or two grade crossings, and there was like a grain silo at Fredonia that loaded buckwheat. So I'll have that against the wall, probably just as a flat, but that'll be an industry to switch. And then as we roll south, where I put this foam, this is the Porter Cutoff, where they just did a massive fill in a grade realignment. I got a picture of it here on the wall from the Nathan S. Clark book. Huge fill. And that's down in Mercer. If you drive down US 62, you kind of go under it in a little bit of a tunnel. So I'll do that here. Got a lot of prettying up to do, obviously. And then on the swing gate, I'm going to do a short steel viaduct. There's a couple short steel viaducts along the Porter Cutoff. None of them were ever double track. So when they built the Porter Cutoff, they just kept the original alignment and kind of used that as double track. For the sake of the layout, I'm just going to build this steel viaduct as a double track. And it's just a couple boards, because it's right in the door here and on the swing gate. I think it's going to take some abuse, so I'm not going to do anything real detailed. I'm just going to make some laser cut towers, put it in there. But I do think I'm going to put maybe the original main crossing underneath and just make it look a little disused. So anyway, more to come on that. The way I did it was I just got stood up on threaded rod here. I wasn't really sure how this was going to turn out, but it seems pretty stable. We'll see as I get track on it. But the bottom swing gate's been rock solid, so we'll see. Of course, it's all interlocked. Trains can't fall off. All that good stuff. So I should have got a picture out, but there is, well, there was the original mine that the Bessemer originally served was Pardoe, which was between Mercer and Grove City. It's kind of hard to describe exactly where it was. But very cool. Very cool mine. They had tracks going, like a minecart track on a trestle going over a few tracks where they could just dump coal into the hoppers. And then that track came around to tipples to put coal in the locomotives. So what I think I'm going to do, this is just a Walther's train line kit. And I think I can just get a couple more of these, cut the top of them off, change the roof a little bit, and it should just fit in there where I could kind of do one on one side, one on the other, and have a little minecart track that goes along both of them to fill these, and then around the corner and have tracks back here filling it. Now, arrow-wise, this mine was gone by the 30s, if not earlier. So it was not there in the late steam era, but it was a really cool scene. It was the beginning of the Bessemer, and I just think it would be neat to model, and it'll be another mine to switch on the layout. I got the room to do it, so I can have that there in the yard, couple, 3-yard tracks or so back there. And I'm thinking not real big, maybe if I can get, 8 or 10 cars on a track, that's more than enough. So anyway, so we're going to come past Pardoe and into Grove City. Grove City will kind of go around where that drill is and around the corner. On this end, I think the main line is going to kind of go to the back against the wall. I'll do like Montgomery lumber and stuff in the front. Probably the passenger station, freight station, and then Cooper Bessemer will be on that wall as you run back out into the country towards Slippery Rock Creek. So, pretty cool. It's really coming together. Still doing my same tapered 1x4 construction, and happy with how that's turning out. It's very solid. I mean, it's really not going anywhere, but like I said, when I built the walls down here, I built the walls knowing this is how I was going to do it, so the walls are very solid. So just to kind of a little bit of an overview of where I'm at right now. So benchwork wise, I'm upper deck around this room now. So I got a lot of track work to do to catch up. Oh, and before I forget to say it, huge shout out to Scott Woods for helping me with information on Pardoe and pictures and everything else. He's an awesome guy. He's a huge help. Takes care of the museum down in Greenville, Pennsylvania. So get a chance to run into him, definitely do it, and hop over to Rob Bennett's YouTube channel. You can see a tour of his Bessemer layout, which is great. It focuses heavily on the steel making, but there's a lot of great stuff on that layout, and it's really awesome. So definitely go check that out. So thanks, Scott, if you're watching. Anyway, so bench work. So I'm down to here, and I've got the pieces to make this next leg coming out, because it's going to be a little bit complicated with a radius in the corner, and then I want to taper it down to where it's only a foot wide. It's only going to be a foot wide running down the wall over the yard to not really interfere with the yard. And that'll bring me to here. So, the bench work will be kind of into this corridor on both sides. So I want to stop there with bench work, I think, and catch the track work up this far. And I think what I've been doing up to this point is, if I knew there was going to be a crossover or a turnout for a town or something, I would put it in as I'd go, so I wouldn't have to come back in and cut it out later. I think I'm going to stop doing that. And I've been watching Daryl Cruz on the Union Pacific Evanston sub, and he just kind of just seems like he just blows his main line down and then comes back and puts in switches where he thinks he needs them later. Not always, but he has done that, and as I've watched him do that, it just seems maybe smart. So I think I might take a page out of that book and just get the track down and kind of come back and figure the details out later. But if I get to here and I get the track to here, then going down this long wall is pretty easy because it's just straight, and I can do straight fast. And then I just got that cubby to do, which will be a little bit with all the angles, and that cubby to do. Yeah, it's dark down here. I have some of the lights shut off because I've just been working mostly up in that end, so I turned a lot of the lights off. But benchwork's coming, so the goal for 2023 was to get the upper deck built and the main line completed up to this bare bones level of it's barely there, but it works completion. So I think I'm on track. It's coming. Oh, there's Betty. Betty, of course, is chief engineer here on the HS Gale, Bessemer Lake Erie. She's been complaining about my work a lot. That's why I got the laser on. I've had to show her that it's all good. Anyway, so that's pretty much what's been going on. Bench work. Not much track work yet, except the track work here in the yard, which, again, all hand laid. I got a video on that. If you haven't seen it, kind of cool. Go check it out. Big shout out to Drew. Thanks to Scott Woods. And we will just keep on trucking away here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. See you next time.